Fires raged across the continents. The sky was a permanent shade of gray. Nuclear fallout had turned the planet into a wasteland. Once bustling cities were now ghost towns, echoes of humanity's greatest achievements reduced to rubble. The air was thick with ash and despair. Oceans, once teeming with life, were now toxic swamps. The Earth's crust was scarred with craters and fissures. Forests, the lungs of our world, had turned to seas of skeletal trees. Wildlife, if any remained, was mutated beyond recognition. The world as we knew it was gone, replaced by a nightmarish landscape of destruction. Humanity's last hope lay in the stars. Earth had become uninhabitable. The only way to survive was to leave. But leaving meant abandoning everything we ever knew. It meant saying goodbye to the cradle of our civilization, the only home we had ever known. People gathered at launch sites, clutching mementos. Tears flowed as families embraced for the last time. The weight of the moment hung heavy. This was the end of an era. The spacecraft stood tall, beacons of hope amidst the ruins. Each vessel was filled with the best of humanity, scientists, engineers, doctors, and artists. As the countdown began, hearts pounded. There was fear, but also hope. The rockets roared to life, lifting off, carrying the last remnants of human civilization. Earth grew smaller, a distant memory. They looked back one last time. Space was vast and unforgiving. The journey was long and arduous. Days turned into months as the spacecraft traveled through the void. The initial excitement gave way to the harsh reality of their situation. They were alone, adrift in a sea of stars. Survival became the primary focus. Rations were carefully monitored, water was recycled, every resource was precious. They had to make it last, not knowing how long the journey would take or what awaited them at the end. Conflicts arose, tensions flared. In the confined quarters of the spacecraft, there was little room for privacy. Personal space was a luxury they could not afford. Disputes over resources, duties, and decisions became common. It was a test of their endurance and unity. Leaders emerged, guiding the group through the rough patches. They had to make tough decisions, balancing the needs of the many against the few. It was a delicate dance of diplomacy and authority, a microcosm of the society they hoped to rebuild. The journey took its toll. Physical and mental exhaustion set in. The constant hum of the spacecraft was a reminder of the fragility of their existence. Every malfunction, every error could spell disaster. They had to stay vigilant, always on guard. Sleep was often restless. Dreams of Earth haunted them. The memories of the life they had left behind were bittersweet. They missed the smell of rain, the warmth of the sun, and the sound of laughter. Space was cold and silent, a stark contrast to the vibrant planet they once called home. They formed bonds, relying on each other for support and comfort. Friendships blossomed amidst the hardships. They shared stories, hopes, and fears. These connections were their lifeline, a reminder that they were not alone in this vast emptiness. They worked tirelessly to keep the spacecraft running. Maintenance was a constant task. They had to be resourceful, improvising solutions with the limited tools and materials they had. Every problem they solved was a victory, a step closer to their goal. Section 5. The Battle Within. Isolation played tricks on their minds. The endless darkness of space was disorienting. Time seemed to stretch and bend. Days blurred into nights. The absence of natural light cycles messed with their internal clocks. They had to rely on artificial schedules to maintain normalcy. Mental health became a critical concern. Psychologists provided support and counseling. Exercise routines were mandatory to stay active. They engaged in activities to keep their minds sharp. They faced their demons, confronting doubts and regrets. They had to find strength within themselves and each other. They were humanity's last hope, and they could not afford to fail. Section 6. Resource scarcity. As the journey progressed, resources dwindled. Food supplies became a major concern. They had to ration carefully, ensuring that everyone got their share. They experimented with hydroponics, trying to grow fresh produce in space. It was a challenging process, but every successful harvest was a triumph. Water was even more precious. They recycled every drop using advanced filtration systems. Showers were a luxury they could not afford. Sanitation was strictly monitored to prevent any contamination. It was a delicate balance, maintaining health while conserving resources. Energy consumption was another critical factor. They had to manage their power usage efficiently. Solar panels collected energy from the distant sun, but it was not always enough. They had to prioritize essential systems, sometimes sacrificing comfort for survival. They learned to adapt, finding innovative solutions to their problems. They repaired and repurposed equipment, stretched their resources as far as they could. It was a constant struggle, but it brought out the best in them. Ingenuity and perseverance became their guiding principles. Section 7. Mechanical failures. The spacecraft was a marvel of engineering, but it was not infallible. Mechanical failures were inevitable. Each breakdown was a crisis, requiring immediate attention. The crew worked tirelessly, diagnosing and fixing issues. They were engineers, mechanics, and inventors rolled into one. Sometimes the problems were minor, a faulty sensor, a jammed door. Other times they were catastrophic, a malfunctioning life support system, a breach in the hull. Each incident tested their skills and resolve. They had to stay calm, focused, and resourceful. They established protocols, training for emergencies. Drills were conducted regularly, ensuring that everyone knew their role. Teamwork was essential. They had to trust each other, relying on their combined expertise to navigate through the crises. Failures were learning experiences. They analyzed every incident, understanding what went wrong and how to prevent it in the future. It was a continuous process of improvement, a testament to their determination to survive. They were not just passengers, they were pioneers, forging a path through the unknown. One day, the spacecraft picked up a signal. It was faint, almost indiscernible, but it was there. The crew was intrigued and apprehensive. They had anticipated many challenges, but an alien signal was not one of them. The possibilities were endless, and so were the risks. They debated whether to respond. Some believed it could be a sign of intelligent life, a potential ally. Others feared it could be a trap, a threat to their already precarious existence. The decision weighed heavily on the leaders. It was a gamble with unknown stakes. They decided to investigate further, analyzing the signal's origin and content. It was a daunting task, requiring all their scientific expertise. The signal was complex, possibly encoded. Deciphering it became a priority, a puzzle that consumed their attention. The discovery sparked hope and anxiety in equal measure. It was a reminder that they were not alone in the universe. The cosmos held secrets, some of which could change their fate. The signal was a beacon guiding them toward an uncertain future. After years of travel, they reached their destination, a new planet, teeming with possibilities. It was a moment of triumph, a culmination of their efforts and sacrifices. The planet was a sight to behold, with blue oceans, green forests, and towering mountains. It was a new beginning, a chance to start afresh. The crew was overjoyed, they had made it. The hardships of the journey faded as they gazed upon their new home. It was a world untouched by war and destruction, a canvas, waiting to be painted with the colors of their dreams. They conducted thorough surveys, studying the planet's environment. It was crucial to ensure it was habitable. The air was breathable, the water drinkable. There were signs of life, both flora and fauna. It was a promising start, but there were still many unknowns. The landing was a meticulous process. They had to establish a base, setting up habitats and infrastructure. It was the beginning of a new chapter in human history. They were pioneers, laying the foundation for future generations. The new planet was beautiful, but it was also wild and unpredictable. They had to adapt to the new environment, learning to live in harmony with the local ecosystem. It was a delicate balance, ensuring their survival without disrupting the natural order. They faced new challenges, unknown diseases, unpredictable weather, and unfamiliar terrain. It was a test of their resilience and ingenuity. They had to rely on their collective knowledge and skills, working together to overcome the obstacles. Building a new society required careful planning. They had to establish laws, governance, and social structures. It was an opportunity to learn from their past mistakes, to create a society based on equality, justice, and sustainability. It was a chance to start anew, to build a better future. They celebrated their achievements, honoring the journey and the sacrifices that had brought them here. But they remained vigilant, aware of the challenges ahead. The new planet was a promise, a hope for a brighter future, but it required constant effort and commitment. As they settled into their new home, they reflected on the journey that had brought them here. It was a story of resilience, hope, and the indomitable human spirit. They had faced unimaginable challenges and emerged stronger. The new planet was a symbol of their perseverance and determination. They had learned valuable lessons from their past. Earth had been a stark reminder of the consequences of their actions. They were determined not to repeat the same mistakes. Sustainability, cooperation, and respect for nature became their guiding principles. The new society they built was not perfect, but it was a step in the right direction. They were committed to continuous improvement, learning, and growth. It was a collective effort, a shared vision of a better future. Humanity had a second chance. The journey from ashes to stars had been long and difficult, but it had given them a unique perspective. They were stewards of their new world, responsible for its future. It was a burden and a privilege, a chance to create a legacy of hope and resilience.